Okay, I know today on Friday I normally go ahead and do my normal White Thugs Friday per se, but I had given it was working on a project that I want to start, which is part of this right here. But this time I'm gonna give the White Thug Friday thing a break, although I will be reporting it through other platforms about that sooner or later thereafter. But what I am going to do for the rest of this month, since this day is a holiday for us, I want to go ahead and I want to honor, not really honor, let me take it back, you know how the history about how America honors their killers and murderers and rapists, and of course the occasional thugs, but not of the melanated persuasion as is the mainstream media want to depict. I'm going to go ahead and do what the mainstream media doesn't have the balls to do. I'm going to go ahead and give my version of the thugs and rapists and murderers that are honored. And of course, it starts off with this guy who I basically cannot stand. And, although, yeah, he's dead, that makes it all worthwhile a little bit more better. This happens to be Chris Kyle. He's going to be the first of my inaugural set it off of this project. Now, we all know Chris Kyle. He's been deemed by corporate America as the most lethal sniper in America. Heck, they even made a freaking movie up about him and stuff, which they go ahead and tell you that, that one with Bradley Cooper, who played this scumbag, as being a hero, as well as, and he won an Academy Award or something like that of that nature. I didn't go see the movie American Sniper, didn't even bother to go see it, because I think he's nothing. Chris Kyle has always said what I felt I said. I felt he's nothing but a racist thug, and on top of that, he's a fraud. Now, you notice at the bottom right here, as you can well see, that, these guys always, it's like that NRA ad, a commercial ad that Professor Black Truth had talked about regarding the Neanderthal recessive apes and their carry guard commercial ad. They always talk about these guys, former Navy SEAL. I swear, these pale males love to talk about saying, "Oh, I was a Navy SEAL." Like if they're on a super soldier program, they're thinking that they're Captain freaking America. Give me a break. I'm not impressed by none of that. Chris Kyle was nothing more, not only that was more than just a racist, he was also a fraud too. As evidence he get them pile up. Because like I said, Bradley Cooper played this guy in American Sniper. He played this guy. Just take this down. Played the guy in American Sniper. And as you can see, this was a snippet right here of him being on Fox News. As you can tell, the once popular O'Reilly factor. Thank God that piece of crap is gone. And as you can well know, false news has been taking a lot of L's as of late. But let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and delve into what I mean about with Chris Kyle, as him being a thug. Because not only that what he did in Iraq, referring to them as being savages. Well, let's just get to the story. This is coming from and it comes from no better than the Times-Picayune, the greater New Orleans area. Chris Kyle, the now deceased Navy SEAL who is celebrated in Clint Eastwood's movie American Sniper, was a proved liar. Now, reason this comes up like that is because of reference of Jesse Ventura. Yes, you know Jesse Ventura. To all of the wrestling aficionados, Jesse the Body Ventura, AWA, WWF, WWE Hall of Famer, also former governor of Minnesota, as well as former outlaw biker and former Navy SEAL. How ironic. But we're going to get to Jesse in a minute. The former military man, wrestler, and governor of Minnesota sued Cal before he died, claiming that he defamed Ventura in his memoir, American Sniper, which he did. I didn't see the movie, but I did saw snippets of it. Cal claimed to have punched out Ventura in a bar after Ventura badmouthed the troops who'd been sent to Iraq. Cal was killed before the trial, but a jury determined that none of what had been written about Ventura was true and was awarded Ventura $1.8 million. So that proves right there, he was a liar. Now, because he's a proved liar, we should be awfully skeptical about Cal's claim that the U.S. government sent him to New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. This is where he talked about saying he sat on top of the New Orleans Superdome, and he said it was from there that he picked off 30 looters in the city. Okay, 30 looters. We all know that's code meaning black people. And he lied about that, but it was very dangerous. Because, see, it was a lot of black people who was basically trying to survive to get the higher ground during the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina in 2005, which I truly believe that that the government using HARP to send the hurricane toward their way to mess up New Orleans, to relocate a major gentrification scale. Anyway, so a June 2014 Washington Post report about Cal's unverifiable legacy doesn't outright call the celebrated sniper a lie, but it does nudge the readers toward that conclusion. After including a quote from one of Cal's officers who said, "I never heard that story," the Washington Post writes, does that mean it didn't happen? Who knows? It's certainly possible that Cal killed 30 armed assailants in New Orleans to protect its residents in Katrina's aftermath, but it's also possible Cal couldn't let go of his own legend, and in a haze of PTSD, let his tales veer into untruth. See how they try to cover it up? Now, as the website mpmacdink.com, writer Michael McAfee is far less kind. He excoriates Kyle and reporters who either have failed to question Kyle's bogus story or worse, criticize Ventura for suing Kyle for lying about him. Kyle also told the story about killing a pair of carjackers in Texas and then dialing up the Pentagon for the law enforcement officials who arrived at the scene. Now, that's another story that no police, deputy, coroner, or witness hasn't been able to confirm. McAfee writes, just like he didn't shoot 2 carjackers in the middle of nowhere, Texas, and he didn't shoot looters in the aftermath of Katrina. None of those things are true, but that doesn't mean that there aren't people who desperately needed them to be true. Now, apparently, there's some people out there who believe that Kyle's lies are a manifestation of PTSD. It is that what he is? Or could he just be an American liar? But see, I want to show y'all some other pictures like this because like this, a lot of this stuff like this, he talks about him being a liar. This is another thing for him. What I couldn't even stand about this guy. Just bring it down right here and straighten it up a bit. As he says in his own words, I live the literal meaning of the land of the free and home of the brave. But first of all, the land was never yours, and that's mostly with white people, so-called white people in general. You know, the land was already free until you came in there and you stole it. And home of the brave? Oh yeah. How brave it is to go ahead and shoot people in the back from 300 yards away. Tell me that. You know, the majority of the people that does this is nothing more than just a nation of cowards. I didn't say it. Former Attorney General Eric Holder said that. Told it to you in your faces. You know, it's not corny for me. I feel it in my heart. I feel it in my chest. Now here's the punchline, people. Here's the one that really gets you. Even at a ball game, when someone talks during an anthem or doesn't take off his hat, it pisses me off. I'm not one to be quiet about it either. Oh, so he basically also has problems too with people who doesn't want to stand up to that bogus racist song called the National Anthem, written by faggot Scott Key. You know, let's talk about the heralding of the slave to the doom in the grave. But he's an American hero. I mean, it's gone to the point where the governor of Texas had named a street after this clown. Chris Kyle is nothing more than just a racist fraud. That's all he's ever been. You know, and there's a picture with him, Jesse Ventura. Jesse Ventura exposed him as being a liar, and he won. And on top of that, for the record, and as far as we talking about America and we talking about the flag and about the national anthem, Jesse Ventura was one of the few white men that stood up for Colin Kaepernick. That he had no problem with Colin Kaepernick's right to protest. That's why he served. I have more respect for Jesse Ventura than I do this piece of trash here. You know. But there's no doubt about that you know that all the pale males, you know, your usual Call of Duty guys, they worship, they have mantles of him, they have shrines of them in their rooms, at their homes, you know. Worship this guy like if he's Jesus freaking Christ. Give me a break. The man was a killer. He was a racist. He called Iraqi people savages. How can anyone be a savage? Let me tell you, riddle me this. How can anybody be a savage and, you know, who's indigenous to their homeland and they're defending it from a foreign invader? So who's the savage in that, Mr. Kyle? Well, anyway, the person that knocked him off, you know, turned out to be an ex-military guy himself. The person that knocked him off turned out to be an ex-military guy himself. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, like with Chris Kyle, you know, good riddance to bad rubbish. He won't be missed. That's for damn sure. You know, he's a liar. He's a fraud. He's a racist. And on top of that, he's a thug too. Because, like I say, he was also a domestic abuser. Shoot, you haven't heard nothing from his widowed wife. But the audacity. But see, this is the thing about with that though. See, when it comes down to the system of racism and white supremacy, you know, America is always somehow, some way is going to reward their killers. You know, I mean, for freaking sake, they made George Washington's birthday a national holiday. Same as they did for Abraham Lincoln. You know, streets named after Ronald Reagan. I would not be surprised if they name a street after Donald Trump. But that's a whole other story. But tell me what y'all think about the American Sniper. And leave your comments down in below. Want to subscribe, you know, just hit the bell and make sure the bell be notifications when it pulls up. And for the record, let me just go ahead and say this. Happy Michael Johnson's Day.